Hello, loved ones. Thank you for joining me today. And if you are new to the channel, then welcome to the family. Today, it is my intent to wrap up season 13 of Married at First Sight. Let's just wrap it up and put a bow on it. And also, let's review the taglines, because I always think that the taglines mean something or tell us something about the character of the person that will happen throughout the season. Welcome to Fueled by Intentions, where we talk about faith, family, finances, fitness, and fun. Sponsored by Bynum's Business Solutions, where the right fit is made simple. We specialize in tips, tools, and strategies designed to help you achieve your financial health so that you can take control of how you spend your money so that you can spend more time with your family, friends, and doing the things you love. So let's jump right into the video. You guys, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know what couple to start with first. I can honestly say everything we said at the beginning of the season was just a wash. We didn't get any of the couples right. If you want to go and preview what our thoughts were at the beginning of the video, you will notice that we thought that Michaela and Zach were going to make a great couple, that they were going to be the standouts to the season, and that they would stay together. And we also thought that Bao and Johnny was going to stay together and be a standout couple and be able to weather the storm of marriage and be together at the end. And as we saw, both of those couples said no to decision day in one way or another. At least one person said no. So one person says no, it's a no. And we also thought that Jose and Rachel would break up, but by the end of the season, they were still together. Spoiler alert, it's my understanding that since all of the shows that wrapped up, the reunion and Where Are They Now, that Jose and Rachel did break up after all of the taping stopped. But I don't know that for sure. I haven't confirmed it. That's just the rumor on the street. Haven't seen any text or any formal documents or anything like that where I could say it with 100% assurance. So for this video, we're just going to end with them being together at the end of the show. Let's start with Brett and Ryan. I do think that their marriage was doomed from the beginning because I don't think that Ryan put enough effort into the marriage, and I don't think that he really gave it a try. I honestly don't believe that Brett was his type. So because of that, he could never overcome that because she didn't have the look or she wasn't his type. I don't think they ever could overcome that. I do think that there's a lot of things that we don't see. They were saying that there were fundamental differences that they had. And I know in the beginning, I think they talked like a little bit about politics and stuff like that. So I really believe that some of the story wasn't captured or wasn't seen for us in order to really understand what those fundamental differences were. One thing that I thought was interesting is I did like that on the reunion special, they brought out the fact that Brett had been seeing or dating some guy or had met some guy. And if you gave him your number, then that was just inappropriate. You're married, you're trying to work on your marriage, and you talk and text a couple of times. I felt like she on the reunion show tried to downplay that, but I thought that that was really, really big. And I do think that Ryan was vindicated in some respects because, I mean, are you really trying if you made such a big deal of him downloading the dating app when kind of you were essentially doing the same thing or worse? So I don't know. I don't think that that was a very good matchup at all. That really did shock me that they said that she had met a guy, and she said it. She confirmed it. She tried to downplay it, but she confirmed it that she met a guy, she exchanged numbers and talked to him a couple of times. And I just think that that is inappropriate. Just like she told Ryan, couldn't you wait? Couldn't you wait? You only had a couple of weeks left. So I do think that that was a downfall on hers. I do respect Ryan because he didn't bring that up. And a lot of times when people are accusing you of something and you have something on the other person, you kind of lash back. Well, I did this, but you did that. And he didn't do it. And also I had a lot of respect for his sister because when she came on the reunion, I didn't think that she was trying to like make Brett look bad, maybe in a little, because she wants to make sure, you know, her brother looks good. But I do like families when they are even killed and they can see the fault in their family member as well as any other person. But Brett and Ryan, they did not make up, and you know, they split up, I guess I should say. And I don't know, I think that was to be expected from the beginning. I didn't think that they had a lot in common in order to keep them together, so they broke up. Now that will lead me to Jose and Rachel. Even though they stayed together, one thing that I was really shocked at is throughout the reunion show and also on Where They Are Now, they didn't really talk about the fact that Rachel called another guy to pick her up when she was locked out of the house. You don't have any girlfriends that you could have called. You have no family members. You went to stay with your mom, so evidently she's in the same city. I didn't think that got enough attention. And I think that everybody was harping on the night and the day after that Jose basically cussed her out and then locked her out of the house on purpose. And then the next day he had no remorse, which I think that all of those things are bad. I don't think all of those things are things that you can't recover from. And they made a big deal like, Jose, you need to go to counseling, you need to work on your anger management. And maybe that's true. I just don't think that one incident really demonstrated that. And I think that Rachel's indiscretion of having a male pick her up should have been more elaborated on, because I think that went into what his fear was. And that could have been a part of, you know, the whole mismatch. I didn't really understand what the arguments were about when they moved into his house as to why she moved out. But maybe she saw some other displays of anger, and that is why they were saying that, because there's a lot of things that I feel like we don't see. And if that is true, you know, you should go to anger management. It is a really, I've been to anger management before just to get control of my own emotions and how I deal with it within other people. And one thing about anger is they say it's a secondary emotion. And when you are angry, you are covering up for another emotion that you don't want to deal with. So when Rachel called him Jose, he could have been, called him Johnny, he could have been embarrassed, or he could have felt unloved, or he could have been, whatever the emotion, there's an emotion before that you're not dealing with, so you go to anger. So that could, it's very interesting when you understand the dynamics of it. It is helpful. But I thought that Rachel, her having a guy pick her up, even though he was wrong, two wrongs don't make a right, that they kind of glossed over that. They really didn't even cover it. And I do commend her though, because she did tell him. She didn't even have to tell him. He really didn't even ask or care where she was once he locked her out of the house. So I do commend her for just being honest and upfront. And that makes me think that maybe nothing happened because she was honest and upfront. But you cannot call on your past relationship when something is going bad in your marriage. So I don't know. But I do like that it looked like they ended together. She agreed to move back in with him, and they were gonna try to continue their life as a married couple. I do like that, but I'm not sure if that really is the end of their story. The next couple, Zach and Michaela, that was a whole mess. That was just a whole, I don't even know how to even comment on it. I think that Zach is immature, and I don't mean that negatively. Maybe he is mature for his age, but I thought it was immature. I think that they could have made it if he was a little more compassionate in helping her overcome her Hurricane K. Her family displayed it right. She was a Hurricane K, and I can't believe she displayed that behavior on television. I do like that she wanted to get help for it, but I don't want to sound insensitive, but I don't think that she should blame that on the passing of her dad, because it doesn't sound like behavior that started after her dad passed. They call her Hurricane K. that was a name she grew up with. It didn't sound like a name she inherited after her dad passed. And I really felt like her relating her behavior to her dad passing is just an excuse to get compassion for the behavior. But I think it's okay just to say, you know what, I'm wrong. That's something I need to work on, without giving an excuse for it. And honestly, I didn't really understand the whole shadow boxing as to why that aggression is going to help you deal with the Hurricane K anger thing that she has going on. I think that she should have took a page from Gil's page, took a page from Gil's book and went to counseling to really deal with other ways to cope and deal with it. When you're confronted in an argument, are you gonna start shadow box? Like, I don't know how shadow boxing is gonna give her the tools not to blow up when she's in a very difficult or uncomfortable situation. So I don't know, maybe that does in some way, maybe it does relate, but I didn't understand how it related. And I do think that Zach just never gave her a chance. Once he saw that behavior, he thought it was something that he didn't want to deal with, nor does he have to if he doesn't want to. And he never gave her a chance, or didn't really forgive her or want to work with her through it in that respect. So I don't think that they made a good couple. And while we're on it, I don't know if I agree with Zach and Val dating. It's like, that's the only person in the world, somebody that you met. I don't know. That just, I mean, they're both adults. Their marriage didn't work out. They're both seeking divorces. And now they meet. I'm surprised though, because Val listed a lot of guys that she would date and a lot of nationalities that she would date at the beginning of Married at First Sight, and African American wasn't one of them that she felt was acceptable or that she could be matched with. So I was very, very shocked that Zach and Val are trying to see if they are a better match and if dating will work for them. I don't know. I don't know, because I do believe that two people who want to be together, then they can be together. So with that, I will move on to Johnny and Val. Johnny and Val, I was surprised that Val said no on decision day, because she had made that whole big statement about what a yes means, and a yes means that you can work on it. I really, really wish she had said yes, because then maybe when the cameras were down, it would have gave them a new perspective. I just think that you should do all that you can in order to make your marriage work. And I don't think that 8 weeks is enough to determine if your marriage is going to last or not. Personally, I think that all the couples should just say, we're going to say yes, and just see where it goes after the show. So I would really wish that she would have said yes, since Johnny said yes, and we thought he was going to say no to see if they could have had something. And I do believe Johnny that he said yes, because Val had already let him know what a no meant, and that a no means no. But I understand Val saying no, because Johnny was very disrespectful throughout the season. It's very interesting, because they had the discussion about whether she was a liar or not, because she likes to have a good image, and she talked to her family before the show, and she didn't want to talk about her sex life on TV. I understand that, and I don't think that made her fake, or she was giving us something that she wasn't. And I do agree that we all have different facets of who we are depending on the audience, and we do want to present ourselves in a good light. And you're on a television show that can really affect your professional world. So I don't think that I thought that she had a lot of raw moments on the show, more so than Johnny. And I really think that one thing that really made them where they did not work out is, it's interesting. And I know people grow up and they think this differently, because I know I do it in my own life, where some of the conversations that they were having, I really felt that Johnny felt like a difference of opinion is an argument. So we're arguing because she has a different opinion than he does. But I don't see a lot of those conversations as arguments, and I feel like they could have worked through them or talked through them if Johnny had been willing. But I feel like every time Val had a difference of opinion, then that was just it, because he felt like that was like an argument that was just blown up. And at the end, on where they were now, when Johnny kind of left the environment and said he was in counseling and he just really didn't want to be in that particular environment anymore, that was a good decision. You have to be comfortable within your own self and within your own healing. And I am glad that he is seeking professional help. I think that he really is going to need it in order to really be with anybody. I think that was a good match for him. She was willing to be patient and work with him. So I think that it was good that he left. It's very childish about not to speak. Like just say hi and move on. And I think that made it even more uncomfortable for Johnny and, him wanting to leave. So I totally understand that he would want to leave because it just wasn't going to be a really good or conducive time for him to spend the weekend there. Gil and Merla. I'm not even sure. I don't even know what to say about Gil and Mirla. I thought that they were going to make it after decision day because she did say yes. I feel sorry for Gil. I really do, because he was really wanting his marriage, trying to do everything that he could in order to make it work. He said he did not see any signs, which I can understand that. Didn't seem like there were any there. And then his marriage just ended without anything that he could do or about giving him a chance to correct whatever mistakes that that she didn't like. So I don't think that was fair on Mirla's part towards Gil. And some of it may have been money. I think that she indicated that was part of the reason. And I can understand what she's saying, because he said that she makes $100 more, that he makes $100 more than her, but yet she has a savings and he has nothing. And then he's complaining about her spending. And someone pointed out that Mirla is an introvert, and introverts have a hard time communicating how they feel, especially they don't want to be embarrassed on TV and that type of thing. So that she probably wasn't saying a lot of things on TV that she would give him an indication. But I think that it's been downplayed, because I feel like Gil, somebody harping on your negativities all the time, and even when he calls her princess, he does it more in a derogatory, you're a princess, like it's not a positive thing. I think that can wear on a person. And I think that I thought it was positive though. Like he would tell her something negative and she says received, but I don't know if she received it or if that was her way of just saying, hey, I'm not getting ready to argue on national TV with this guy. I thought she had really real moments, but it sounds like Gil is getting ready to progress in his career, because he said his job was sending him to school to be a medical something in medicine or something. I'm sure it still has to do with fire department, but that he was progressing in his career by progressing in his education. I felt so sad for him about the ring. Of course, some of the things I'm like, is that staged? When he met with a therapist and she encouraged him to take off his ring, like, I don't know if that was a TV moment or if that was like a real moment or not. I think that his feelings are real and that he's really going to therapy. I just didn't know if that particular interaction was a discussed thing to do on camera or something that just organically happened. I am glad that he is going to counseling, and we need that. I support counseling for anyone. I think he made a right decision by not going to the cabin to be in the midst of everyone as he continues to grieve. Divorce is a loss. It is definitely a loss. One thing that I really wish I knew is he said that he moved out of his apartment, they got an apartment together, that he sold all of his stuff. I would love to know what he did. Like, where are you living? Did you buy some more stuff to put in an apartment? Are you sleeping on your buddy's couch? What are you now? How did you recover from that? And I really respected Gil when he got up and left the reunion. And when they were all like, oh, wife swap, who would you marry? Who would you have paired who with? Because he took it seriously. And personally, I feel like if you are going to make it on this show, you have to be serious about marriage. I think Gil was the perfect person for the show because he had a desire. He wanted it really bad. He was willing to put in the work. Now, I say he was willing to put in the work, but I'm not sure if he really was, because Merla, she never really asked anything of him to change. She just kind of accepted him where he was. Even someone said, don't you feel bad about him saying you're a diva and all the stuff that he was saying? And she said, I do, but that's just who he is. And so she kind of just accepted the things of who he was, and she never asked him to change anything. So I don't know for sure if he would have been willing to change, because he was never challenged to change by anybody. And I think that maybe somebody else could have pointed that out to him, because I don't think that was a very, I wouldn't have felt protected if I had been in that situation. So maybe Mirla that's really how she felt, but she wasn't able to communicate it. And some people don't feel like they should ask people to change their different personalities. They do think that they should have full acceptance. And I understand that too, because I'm kind of like that. Like, do you want somebody really to change? So I'm not surprised that they did not make it. I wonder, I don't know if everybody's switching. I don't know. I think that if Gil was matched with Michaela, could he have handled or curtailed that particular Hurricane K a little better and helped her manage that? I do applaud Zach for letting her know this is just not acceptable, and nor am I going to take it in my relationship. But somebody to help her deal with it, since she was saying, okay, I understand that this is not acceptable and I am willing to change. And the only thing that I don't think people understand about change is you're not going to change overnight. So I'm not going to not be Hurricane K ever again, but we can work through that where it's and I can either go to counseling, or we can go to counseling, or wherever you want to put it, so that I can make the changes that I need, so that I'm not reactive like this, like change that particular, the way you react to things. The last thing I want to say about Mirla and Gil is I was so shocked that Mirla didn't want to continue after decision day, because she was the one who was saying, I choose to love you. It's a choice. Love is a choice. It's not a feeling. And I choose to love you, which is true. I think that love is an action word, and not how you feel, because your feelings can change like the wind. But then for her to say that's what she thought in terms of I choose, and then she decided, I don't want to do this anymore. I was really, really shocked about that. I also was shocked on the reunion part 2, when they showed the clip of Merla being drunk and coming into her interview and really being kind of sloppy about it. I was really shocked. I don't think that she liked that. I mean, because she does want to be seen in a very professional light and stuff like that. And I was shocked that she came in, because they can only show what you give them. And I do agree with Dr. Pepper that, that's disrespectful. You got a meeting, you need to come in, do whatever you need to do the night before in order to do that. Believe that. That's what we all do on our jobs. But I was very shocked for them to even bring it out. And I don't know, I think that was a dig against Merla, because why? What was the purpose? What was the purpose in showing us that? Well, there was no purpose. I think that they were just trying to show us her imperfections or something. I was really, really shocked about that. So that's my review of the season, how I think that everything went with the couples. I am very sad, because I do believe in the power of marriage. I think that two people can be married at first sight and make it. And now I just want to spend a little minute looking at the taglines and seeing if we thought we could identify their personalities within the taglines. Jose's tagline was Mr. Perfectionist. I thought he was a perfectionist to a certain degree, but I don't think that was the best tagline for him. I don't know. I didn't see him being perfect, and I didn't think he really expected perfection from Rachel, and I thought that he was open to change. I think maybe they should have used something that more dealt with his anger or explosiveness. I don't know. I don't think that perfection is the reason why they did not make it. So Jose, Mr. Perfectionist, I don't think that was a really good tagline. I mean, the only thing he's really perfect about, I think he was about his tidiness in terms of the house, which didn't become a conflict, and how he considers money. I didn't see him just needing everything to be perfect. So I don't think that was a tagline that lasted throughout the season for Jose. Now let's look at Rachel. Rachel, the blossoming bride. I don't think I even knew what that meant before. I don't know what it means now. So I didn't really see that as part of her personality, the blossoming bride. I don't think that was identified. I don't think I can identify her character within that tagline. So I'm going to say that was not a good tagline for Rachel as well. I don't know, maybe something about her, summer Rachel, or I don't know. I think she could have been a blossoming bride because she really handled the most difficult situation with class. When Jose cussed her out and locked her out, I felt like she remained calm and cool, and then she was forgiving even though she thought that she couldn't be. So in that respect, I think she could be a blossoming bride. I'm not sure. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you saw something blossoming about her that I just did not recognize. If you think that blossoming bride was a great tagline. So let's look at Brett. Miss Hopelessly Devoted. Well, I don't think that was her, because if she really did get another person's number and text between them, then you weren't devoted. So hopelessly, I mean, she was I don't know. And I don't know, it sounded like Brett did that before Ryan downloaded the app. So it looked like to us, she was like all in it and invested. But if she was partying with another guy, exchanging texts and getting his number, I don't see that relating her to being devoted to her marriage, because that's not devotion. So I don't think that was a good tagline for her either. Ryan, the reformed serial dater. I don't think he was reformed. We saw him download an app for dating again as soon as he finished, and he's already in another relationship that we saw, which I hope works out for him. But I don't think I don't think he was reformed. He went right back to doing what he was doing, and he downloaded the app before decision day, which means that he wasn't a reformed serial, that he was still trying to date while he was married. So that wasn't a good tagline for him either. Gil, Mr. Charismatic. Gil, Mr. Caring and Charismatic. I think that was good for him. I think he was caring, and I think he was charismatic, and I think that the care that he has lasted beyond the show because of how hurt he was because his marriage didn't last. I think he did have a charismatic personality where everybody liked him. He was kind of life of the party, but I think that he needs to work on that, because continually pointing out someone's faults or where you think they have faults, then that's not good. And also because Mirla didn't point out his faults, the person that you're pointing out faults, they take it a little more personally, like I'm accepting all of you, but you're accepting none of me, because every day you're criticizing who I am. So I think he is gonna have to work on that, but I do think that he is a caring guy. And his personality, some people are just charismatic. They just gravitate and they can be the life of the party. People want to be around him. And I think that he believes that he is an optimist, which he may be, but I still feel like he criticized Merla too much. And maybe he thought it as playful, but nobody wants to hear that over and over. And nobody wants to hear that on camera over and over. So my question to myself is if you did that much on camera, how much more were you saying when the cameras were off? But I do think that his tagline fits his personality. He is Mr. Caring and Charismatic. So we got one. All right, so Mirla, picture perfect princess. I think that for the way the season played out, that she, I think that she wanted to be a picture perfect princess because she wanted everything to be perfect, as to why she complained about everything, because it wasn't perfect to her standard. So, and I do think that she's a little diva, a little princess, which, hey, I'm okay with that. I have no problem with that. I think that I am too. So, picture perfect princess. I think that that was a good tagline for her in relation to how the season played out. So, thumbs up for that particular tagline. I think it did fit Merla based on what we saw. Now, Val, Miss High Bar. I don't know if she really set the bar high, because I really felt like she was not holding Johnny to a high standard, that she was more, I think all the women were more accepting of the guys this time, and the guys were more critical of the girls this time. And so I don't know if she really set the bar high, because I really didn't feel like she was giving Johnny anything that he needed to reach. I felt like the whole season she was defending herself and her own character and her whole own way of thinking. And I do like that she didn't lash out at Johnny when he was being negative towards her. I really love it when people do that, when they don't attack back. I think that Rachel did a really good job of that. I think Mirla did a good job of that. And I think Val did a good job of that, because it's very hard when you're being attacked not to point out something negative about the other person, to just kind of be silent or own it and then move on. So I don't think that I really saw where she set the bar high or had a high standard for Johnny, or herself in that. So I don't get it. I understand that she's like driven in everything, and how they showed us in her reel before the show started that she sets a high bar for herself, but I did not see that tagline play out during season. All right, next, let's look at Johnny. Johnny was life of the picky party. Johnny was life of the picky party. Yes, that fit Johnny to the T. He was too picky. Nothing Val did could ever please him. Everything was wrong about everything about her. So he was way too picky. I mean, even to the point, the worst thing to me was when he said that he finds it childish when she's really being like giddy, which it really bothered me, because she really felt that that was one place where they would bond, because they're kind of both nerdy, and that's just kind of like the nerdy giggles. And he didn't even think that, I don't like, that's not attractive. So he definitely lived up. He was too picky. I don't know if he'll ever find someone that will meet all of his particular criterias. But I think that although Val was happy in the beginning because she had a little crush on Johnny, I think Johnny made it known that, look, if I wanted you, I could have picked you, and I didn't. So why would I want you now? I think that that was kind of like his attitude at the beginning, and that kind of just went on. Although when they had the picnic, I thought it was a turning point, because he said that he was really getting into her. So I'm not really sure what happened. I don't know. He acted like there was a lot of things that happened off camera that we didn't see, and that he was stifled in what he could say. I actually don't believe that, because she was very open in terms of what she said on camera. And the example that she gave was about her being stifled, was about her making her family comfortable with what would be said or not said as it relates to them. And he couldn't give another example. So I really don't, I thought that was an excuse, but I think that his tagline, life of the picky party, he lived up to that tagline. So yay, Johnny, you lived up to the tagline they gave you. Zach, the romantic idealist. I don't think Zach was romantic in any kind of way. I don't know. I don't know if he was I don't know. I don't think that was good for him. I don't think he was romantic, and I don't think he was, I don't know, maybe he had an unrealistic ideal of what marriage should be. And yeah, I think that Michaela's was a stubborn sweetheart, but I thought that Zach was very stubborn. So I don't think he was a romantic idealist, but I think he was very, very stubborn. And so I don't think his tagline, he lived up to his tagline. I didn't see no romance at all. I didn't see him being romantic. I didn't think he took a page from his parents' playbook. I wonder, did he get their advice, since they're such a strong couple, very loving, and if they were helping. I know that they talk to their siblings every now and then, but I think that, I don't know, none of his siblings were married at the time, or maybe one of them, because he was going to be the one not married. But yeah, I don't think that he lived up to his tagline. So the romantic idealist was not a good tagline for Zach. And the last one was Michaela, and Michaela was a stubborn sweetheart. I actually don't think that, she definitely wasn't a sweetheart. I don't think that she was stubborn though. I think that she was very open and willing to make the adjustments that she needed to make in order to make her marriage work. I just don't think that she had the tools or the support that she needed in order to make the marriage work. And I don't want to say that dismissing the experts, because they did try to intervene and help them, and I think that the advice that they gave them were really good. I think that she needed some outside, like therapy kind of support, in order to not continue those behaviors and get a control on it, which I think that hopefully she will do. And I don't think that Zach gave her a chance to even redeem herself after the first time. He was pretty much done with it and not really forgiving or wanting to work with her as her authentic self, which was Hurricane Kate. So I don't think that she was a stubborn sweetheart. I don't think she was stubborn, and I don't think she was a sweetheart. I don't think she was either. The thing that I say about Michaela, I think she made a lot of excuses as to why she had the behavior, but I think that she was owning the behavior, that this is how I am, but I am willing to change. So I don't think that's stubborn at all. I think she had a willingness to change. Well, that will wrap up season 13. I am still gonna watch season 14. I do love Married at First Sight. I don't know if I'll keep loving it, because I want to see success stories. I don't want to see a lot of failed marriages, because I think that marriage can work, and I think that Married at First Sight can work. I do blame it on the experts, because I feel like if you're doing an experiment like this, that you have to give the people the highest probability of working. So you cannot match Merla with Gil when you already know that she is into money and she doesn't want a bald head. When you got 6,000 people to choose from, you got to give her the best thing that you can in order to make those things work, especially in an 8-week experiment. I mean, maybe if it was a year long or something, you could take those chances, but I think that they take too many chances, too many risks. So I'm really praying for season 14 that they have some couples that last, because I don't know, I want to see a happy ending. And I don't know, the drama, I mean, I guess it's entertaining, but it's not. I would prefer to see the love stories. That's entertaining to me. If you just, I don't know, I think about Greg and Deanna. I love watching them. We think about Woody and Armani. We love watching them. So we don't have to have dramatic personalities in order to enjoy the show. And I'm hoping that they go reshuffle the deck, think about how they're making matches. I'm hoping to see them make matches that they have more commonalities than differences, and see what season 14 holds. So please let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think about the taglines? Do you think that they were appropriate? Were you surprised at any of the breakouts? Did you have any standout moments? What do you think about Merla saying no to Gil after? What do you think about Gil being in counseling at this point? And what do you think about Bao and Zach dating? And do you think Johnny and Mirla are dating? I don't think so. I think they're just good friends. But let me know in the comments what you think, and we'll see you for season 14. Please like, comment, and subscribe.